Hello, lovelies. Welcome to Horror 421, the podcast, with your hosts, special effects makeup artist supreme, Elena Morales, and your friendly small-town horror author, Charles Campbell. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the frights in this week's episode.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Horror 421, the podcast. I'm Charles Campbell, your host. I'm a small-town horror author, and with me today, I have a special co-host. His name is John Stryzak. Say hello, John.
How's it going?
And with us today, we have an awesome musician, awesome dude. Love him to death. Saw him when he performed with Jen at Pappy and Harriet's in California last year. Had to know who this guy was, so I found out. His name is Marc Orrell. He was a member of the band Dropkick Murphys back in the early 2000s, and he's done all kinds of shit since then. So welcome to the show, Marc.
Hey, thanks for having me, Charles. This is great.
Awesome.
I know, and I have to show this. Look, I'm representing the shirt of the book. Come on.
That's right, baby.
Come on, the show. You got to represent.
That's right. Well, I got to represent Shirley or she'll be mad.
That's right. Yes. That's good. Legends.
That's right. Well, Marc, I'm super excited to have you today for a few reasons. A, you're an excellent songwriter. That song list that I listened to, dude, you blew it away.
Thanks, man.
But I'm going to jump in. You immediately grabbed my attention today, and this literally happened today. I went and looked up some more of your stuff outside of that playlist, and you're a member of the band called the Walker Roaders, and that blew me away. I had to download it immediately. It's on my playlist now. I listened to the whole record today, and tell me about that band, how you got started in that, and then we'll branch out after that. But
that was a really cool project for me because it's we keep joking around calling it the Celtic punk holy trinity because it's got three guys. We got me from Dropkick Murphys, and we got Ted Hutt from Flogging Molly, and we got James Fernley from the Pogues, who I grew up like absolutely adoring the Pogues. I love their top 5 favorite band. I love them. And James, the accordion player, lives in LA. He's a terrific writer as well. And I don't know if you've ever been around somebody before where, you've listened to their music. You're like when you were a kid. And then he'll just be playing such a random instrument like the accordion, and he's just doing like he has his own touch and his own way of playing. And when it happens, like right in front of your face, you go It's like and he's like, what? And I'm like, it's like how I always listen to it when I was like, but it's right in front of me and it's doing something. Wow, that's just weird, It's just really cool. And so we all started kind of jamming together in Los Angeles. And Ted is a great producer, so he kind of just linked it all up. He's like, James has got these songs, and I kind of had a couple of songs that I was just like messing around with. And we kind of just put our heads together in the studio and just kind of made a whole mess of music that James wrote. And it's really fun. I mean, some people seem to be digging it, which is really cool. It was just me just being in awe of being around James Fernley from the Pogues. I know it's a weird instrument, the accordion, but it's really cool. If you get somebody to play it really good, it's very unique. And I was just really gravitated towards him in the Pogues too, because I was like, who is that motherfucker playing the accordion? It's badass, So I grew up just like, and so now I'm like buddies with him, and it's weird. It's great. I love it. He's such a nice, awesome guy. And so, getting to work with him is just one of those things where I'm like, this is nice.
Well, dude, every song on that record was really good. I enjoyed every one. And a couple that stood out to me were Bastard Son. Love that one.
Yes.
And
yes.
And Will You Go, Lassie Go? That was another one.
That's a great one.
Oh, man, those were some awesome tracks. So I had to know a little bit about the Walker Roaders because
I'm actually in the studio with them right now. I have to go a little bit later today. We're working with this guy from Ireland, and we're kind of doing this thing where we want to try and make it a thing that works with solo acts for like a different singer, and they just get us to back us up. And, it seems to be going pretty well. We've done a couple of stuff we did some stuff for Jim Lindbergh from Pennywise. We've done some stuff with KT Tunstall.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we did a Christmas song with her.
Nice.
Yeah, well, we did Chuck Berry's "Run Rudolph Run."
Oh, sweet, sweet.
You know, so that was kind of funny, and we kind of made it like a little bit Celtic-y. And I play the banjo and like the bouzouki, which is like a big mandolin, and a bunch of other stuff. I have musical ADD. I just
I'm from the deep south. I know about the banjo.
Oh, nice. Yes, exactly. You know, so just, you know, echoing around the streets where you're from, you know.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that whole project is really fun to kind of just be able to go to. But the past couple of months, I've been really honing down on Gin's records, which is really cool. I'm really excited about it. I can't wait for it to come out.
I can't wait for that bootleg Betamax you said I was going to get.
That's right. You're saying that. You're like, can you make a Betamax version? I'm like, do I have to send you a fucking Betamax machine?
No, I will find a machine. You get the tracks on there. I'll find a way to listen to them.
That's right. You know, it's almost like Los Angeles. It's kind of like fun that way where, you know, if you need to get something today, you can find it in the Valley. You know, I need this random screw from 1971, and they only made like 5 of them. So guy goes, oh, you can get that in the Valley today. This shop out there, it just continues to go. The Valley, it's forever. But yeah, so the record is really, really exciting. I'm really excited. Like we're going to be doing, we're getting some stuff mixed now and a couple of things mastered. I'm not sure when we're going to have the first single out, but hopefully soon, fingers crossed.
All right, all right.
But yeah, it's going to be fun. I'm really excited about it, and it's just so great working with Gin too. She's just so lovely. She lives out the street, and she comes down. We have a cup of tea, go write a song. Her kids go to school at the end of the street. So she drops the kids off, and then we just get rocking.
Just get jamming. That's awesome.
I know. We've been doing some writing. We've been doing writing together for a while. The first song I did with her was a song called "Dirty Mercy."
Oh yeah, we know it.
Yeah. We were at that. That was just a fun day in the studio. I think I had my Marshall 800 in there, and I just started playing a bass.
Well, I noticed a lot of credits in the album jacket for Ivory with your name in it. So so you did some work on that record.
Yeah, it was fun. That was kind of right when I first started writing with her and first met her.
Gotcha.
Oscar Peterson, my dog, losing his shit.
Well, but yeah, I'm gonna pump the brakes just a second. Let John speak for a moment instead of bogarting the whole interview. But John listened to some of your tracks, and I'm sure he's got some stuff he wants to ask you.
Cool, right on.
One thing I'm curious is like, what got you into music? What was what's the origin story?
Well, I was in like when I was in like, I don't know, 3rd or 4th grade, I was in like a drawing club, and I kind of started making some friends there. And then I went over to their house for the weekend, a couple of friends, and they're like, come down to the basement, check this out. And I was like, oh, what's down in the basement, you know? And so they'll just come down here. I'm like, okay. And I saw a drum set and a guitar. They're 2 brothers, Irish twins, you know? And I was like, oh, wow. That's the Cajun brothers. I was like, oh, wow, this is crazy. You have a real drum set and a real guitar? This is awesome. So I just started banging on the drums. I was like, sold. I need one of these. So I first started playing drums. And I always feel like that's a good instrument to get into when you're starting with music. It's just the dumb instrument. No offense to drummers, but it's just like whack it. Just like, because I teach my nieces how to play guitar. And they're just like, Uncle Mark, I can't get the chord to do the thing. And I go, don't worry about that. Just strum and just get your rhythm going. So drums is just really good to be an idiot and just have fun. You know what I mean? So I just did that. And, you know, when you have a drum set, sometimes people leave a guitar over, and then you start playing that and go, okay, I'm a guitar player now. And then through years go by, you know, just get deeper and deeper into music, and you start finding other things. And I mean, I grew up loving like punk rock stuff and a lot of ska stuff when I was a kid. And because this was like 1998, I was caught up
we were in
ska and swing.
Some of that early No Doubt stuff.
Yes. Man. Yeah. Where I'm from,
Beacon Street.
Yes. Well, where I'm from, we had the Mighty Boss Tones, and they were like hometown legends and stuff. Right. So doing that was really, I mean, playing that kind of music. And I mean, I'm not trying to be Mr. Cool here, but I just honestly got into Chuck Berry. I fucking love Chuck Berry because he's just fucking awesome music. And I'd say he's the first rapper ever. Chuck Berry's probably the first because all the songs are the same. You know, it doesn't matter what the music is.
I can buy that.
He's got great lyrics and great rhymes and great rhythms. And you can even Google some of his lyrics and they just bop along in a rock and roll way, you know. So, and then I had Chuck Berry, and then I got into the Stones, and I got into, you know, the Beatles and things like that. But a lot of punk rock stuff first because it just had so much energy, and but then it just started to grow, and then you just, like I said, I had musical ADD is what I call it. I just go, okay, I'm tired of guitar. What's this mandolin? Or what's this banjo? What's this accordion? What's this fucking Hammond organ? What's this weird thing? You know, I just, yeah, exactly, you know? And then you just start recording. And that's why I do producing work and stuff, you know, because I can just make it all happen, and piano and just, you know, so it's kind of just something I was really lucky. I consider myself really lucky because I was just like, cool, music, done. A lot of people from where I'm from back home in Worcester, people kind of just go, I don't know. I don't know what I want to do with my life. I don't know where my spot is. And I'm like, oh man, I wish you'd find it, but I don't know what to tell you. For me, it was just like a no-brainer. I love music.
Yeah.
And it's just something I wanted to do, and I just continued doing it. And that's what, you know, and then I joined Dropkick Murphys, which was kind of like this another one of those weird things. I was a fan. I love them. They were like hometown boys that were like, I go see their shows all the time when there was nobody there at the Espresso Bar in Worcester. It's like an all ages club for kids to go to, and you get your fucking IBC root beer or some kind of shitty Dunkin' Donuts style espresso. And you go watch a band, you go see local acts and local music, all kinds of different types of music. And we just would go there every weekend, maybe sneak in the back because we're kids and having fucking money. And so we kind of just have fun doing that. And it was really, really great. And then, yeah, so the Dropkick Murphys kind of get bigger and bigger. And I'm like, oh my God, they're great. And then my buddy joined as a second guitar player. And that like blew my mind. I was like, you're in Dropkick Murphys? No, you're in Dropkick Murphys? And he's just like, yeah. I was like, oh shit. And then I quit high school. and I was working at Blockbuster Video. And my buddy who joined Dropkicks gave me a call. He's like, hey, you quit high school, right? I said, yeah. Do you want to try out for Dropkicks? I said, holy shit. And I was trying out for a week, and they got an offer to go to Japan. And they're like, do you want to come with us? And I was 17. I just quit high school like a couple months before. And I was like, yes, yeah, sure. Japan. Okay, that's really weird place to start, but sure. And they're like, do you have a passport? I go, I don't know what the fuck that is.
Yeah, no.
And my mom helped me get a passport out in Boston, and it's, you know, it's just, that's how it ended up taking off. I just was like, oh, shit. And then I played with them for a couple of years, and then I was like, I like other kinds of music, and I love you guys. I have nothing but great respect for all those guys, and just love them to death. But, you know, I know in my heart I'm supposed to do something else.
Well, according to your bio that I read on the Walker Roaders website,
oh, right,
you made 4 albums with Dropkick Murphys. Mm-hmm. That's amazing. And it does say you joined at age 17, and I thought that was super young to join a band of that caliber to do the things that you've had an amazing life so far. Yeah,
I mean, like I said, I'm super lucky. I just was able to just continue to do what I like. And that's what kind of like really inspires me to just kind of just do what you like, what your art is. Don't try and cater to somebody else. Don't try and fit in another box somewhere where you don't feel comfortable, but this is where the money's at or whatever bullshit. Because the big song that Dropkick Murphys had was just a studio track, like a song that we were just like, okay, that's cool. Because back then, it was 2005. Back then, it was all about getting your song on the radio and on MTV, and that's how your success would go. So we had this kind of like song. We're like, okay, this is about as bubblegum pop as we can get to be radio friendly. And it did okay. It was like, all right, a lukewarm response. We're on the Warped Tour. And so it was just like, okay, this is our song. And then like a year or two later, Martin Scorsese got in touch with us and was like, we love this random ass song that's on your record. And we're like, okay. Yeah, I mean, that was just a fun day in the studio, but okay, yeah, you want to, oh shit. And we looked at this trailer. We're on tour in Europe, and it was there like this private website, you got to click on this link. And I was like, it's in this movie called The Departed. I was like, that's Jack Nicholson. That's Leonardo DiCaprio. That's Mark. What the fuck is this? And the songs in the background, this isn't real. Someone's fucking with us. Like, what the fuck is this movie? And it just turned into a big success story. Like I said, that was just us having fun in the studio that day. And I truly believe that if you stick with your art and do what you like, because of this, especially with this record with Gin, like people like been kind of like, well, you got to go where the money is, you get licensing. That's what it's all about. Or get on a playlist and cater to a certain kind of music or do this thing. And me and Gin were just kind of like, let's just make music we like. Let's have fun and be genuine with that. And let's just be excited, because a good friend of mine who lives in the neighborhood, his name's Rob Schnapp. He's a great producer. He's done like a bunch of the Elliott Smith stuff, some Beck stuff, the last X record. And he's just a really cool guy. And we like to hang out, drink beers. And he told me this one thing. He goes, if you make shit and it doesn't do well, you're left with shit. If you make art and it doesn't do well, at least you still have art. And I'm like, okay, all right. That is awesome. I love that. And I just been like, let's stick with that. Let's stick with our guns and really enjoy what we do, and have fun. And so that's kind of what we did with this record. We're like, I don't know if it's going to sync. I don't know if it's going to do well, but I've known in the past from like my Dropkick stuff, you go, just have fun in the studio, and that will show its way in success,
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And
I
agree with that 100%. I mean,
better than trying to be something else and it doesn't do well. And I didn't even really like doing that. It was a weird day.
Yeah, well, a lot of the stuff, and I listen to a shit ton of music, and like I told Jen, my music is estrogen driven. I listen to a lot of female singers. Female singers.
Hell yeah.
And I listen to singers that don't fit in a box. So
yeah.
If I'm listening to something on the radio and it's got that same drum line or that same auto-tune vocals, I don't really give a shit about it,
Yeah.
So I'm 1,000% with you. Sing what make what you enjoy. Make what sounds good to you, and
then feels right. You know what I mean? You just got to go, okay, like we can do so. Like I have been in other writing sessions with Gin too, where we go to somebody else and we go, okay, let's work with this person. And at the end of the day, like we walk out, like, cause we're usually carpool together. We're like, was that any? We're like, okay, yeah, it was okay. It was whatever. And it's not blowing me away, but it was okay. It was a fun thing to do that day, because that's sometimes what we do with me and Jen. We'll just start with an idea and we're like, is that good? And we're like, whatever. It's just songs to me, when they're written, are just a day. That was just a day we did. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to, because people will be like, no, this has to be the hit. Today is going to be the hit. And you go, let's just keep it easy. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I found that I really like the magic that sneaks up on you, where you're like, oh my God, I thought that was just like 3 dumb chords. And it turned out to be this awesome thing, because I can predict things, and you go, okay, I know what that's going to sound like, and blah, 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 blah. And okay, that should work theoretically. I think that should work. And then you go, it didn't sound the way it sounded in my head, but it was a fun day. We did that anyways. I love the ones where I'm like, I didn't think much of this, but now, holy shit, like, wow, that turned into something and blossomed into something amazing. It's kind of like those movies from like the 90s where like the girl goes to school and she's got glasses and she's the dork, and and then she takes the glasses off and the ponytail comes down.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Oh my God, magic. You took your glasses off. So that's what happens with things. And I like that kind of stuff more than trying to strangle something to death to work. You know? Yeah.
If you got to force it, it's most of the time it's not good. And that's how I approach writing too. If I don't feel it, it ain't happening that day.
Come back to it another day.
Exactly. So
that idea is there and it's up here, and let it marinate for a little while and let me get excited to come back to it.
Exactly. Well, another thing I'm excited about, and you posted under the moniker Wild Roses Rock on Instagram. I want to know about Wild Roses because I went back and looked at some of your videos. Is that a group? Or is that just you? Or
it started with it's like Menudo, that band, like so many revolving members. But it started, you know what? Gavin started that band with me. Gavin's the guitar player on my side.
Okay.
Me and Gavin have played together for a while. We played in a band with the guy from Pennywise, Jim Lindbergh. We played in a band called Black Pacific. I didn't play in the record. I just joined the band as a touring thing, and I've never been drunker in all of my life than with Gavin Caswell. So it's great to have him with Gin, and he's on my side. He's my boy, And so he started kind of doing that stuff because we kind of were like, oh, we really like kind of like Americana music, and we want to try and maybe do something because we were just playing SoCal punk with,
right.
Jim, and that's fun. That's got its place. But we're like, let's do something, a little bit more acoustic. And he's like, I'm down, and we can drink, and we'll take mushrooms or whatever. And so we kind of just would do playing around LA. And then he would have to go. He had so many jobs, and you know how it goes. Like people have to leave, and then this person leaves, and then it stopped playing, and then this guy wants to come back and we'll start jamming. And so over the years, there had been a lot of people. I haven't really recorded too much, just because it's always been kind of a live thing.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's very fun. Like I had Chris Cheney from the Living. Cheney. He's from the Living End, a guitar player. He's really good. If there's an Australian in Los Angeles, I know them. They're everywhere, and they all love cocaine. It's just a known fact. If you ever meet an Australian that says they don't like cocaine, they're a fucking liar. It's true, man. I swear. They're all just like, oh, g'day. I'm on my way to South by Southwest. Thought I'd stop in Los Angeles for a day. What are you doing tonight?
All right.
Call the guy. It's fucking Tuesday, dude. Like, you want me to call the guy? But yeah, so I would always have all these guys, and we did like a residency for like nearly a year in this place, this punk rock bar in Hollywood and Vine right there. It was Hollywood and Cahuenga. It was called Loaded, and that was really fun. And we just play every Monday night. Like you'd have a bender of a weekend, and they go, "Oh shit, Monday, fuck, yeah, we have to do this residency and get drunk again." And but it was fun. You played to nobody, you played to some people, and it was just kind of a fun thing. And by the later years, it was me and my buddy Jeff, who plays in the Agrolites now. I don't know if you know that awesome reggae band. Really good reggae, man. I mean, I'm not like I like reggae, but like if you go to reggae
I'm a casual fan of reggae.
Yeah, so he plays upright bass. He played in Tiger Army as well. And then we got a guy playing pedal steel and a guy playing drums, and we just kind of all get drunk together and have a blast, And so it's been revolving members, and then it's always just been me. So it's just been and the Wild Roses Rock on my Instagram has just always been my name. I'm like, I'm just gonna keep that because I feel like my songs are like Wild Roses. They're fucking all over the shop.
Yeah.
They sound different everywhere, So
well, the song "I'm Gonna Put My Foot Up Your Ass" is the happiest song I've ever heard.
That was a fun song. That was just me dicking around by myself on the computer, just doing like, this is a funny song.
Hey, I was smiling the whole time I was listening to it.
Sounds like someone's dad talking to them or something.
The Red Foreman song is what you got going on.
Yeah, right. It's just like that. And I like that kind of attitude. And everyone loves it when you play it live. We had this other song we haven't released. It's about licking buttholes, about eating buttholes. And when you play that at a bar at fucking 2 a.m., they fucking love it, dude. They love it. There's a song called "Something to Eat."
Oh, nice.
We never released that. We recorded that, and I think Gavin played slide guitar on it. And but yeah, we never released that because I'm always like, it comes across in a bar or whatever.
Now, hey, John, before the podcast started, I was telling Mark that I'm from South Kakalaki, and he said, "Well, what's that?" I said, "South Carolina." And he told me an interesting story that I'd like for him to share so you can hear it. It was pretty entertaining. He made a trek through South Carolina one time, and it didn't work out very well for him.
I was living in Worcester, Massachusetts, and me and my ex-girlfriend at the time, now, we were driving down to Florida to see her grandparents. And I loved weed. I was just like wicked big stoner. And like her mom and her brother were like, "We're going to fly. Do you want us to book you the flights?" And we're like, "No, we're going to drive." Because we wanted to bring pot with us. So like, we're going to do a 22-hour drive down to Florida from Massachusetts. I'm like, "It's fine. We were going to drive." "Well, I just came off of tour. Of course, I love driving. I want to do that drive." And they're like, "Okay, and we'll meet you down there." And so we're driving and smoking weed on the way down. Sweet, not giving a shit about anything. And, we get, all the way down, and we're getting to, we're in North Carolina, and then you're on 95, right? And then you cross over to South Carolina, and south of the border, the little knick-knack place.
I do.
There is always like, as me and Charles were talking about, there's like signs for it for fucking hundreds of miles. Like you'll be in Connecticut or some shit, and they're like, "Hey, just so you know, in fucking
600 miles,
600 or 700 miles, you can stop and get a Mexican jumping bean if you want in a case." We always used to stop there when I was a kid on my way down to see my grandparents in Florida. So so anyways, we're driving down, just crossed. It's starting to get nighttime. And apparently I had a headlight out, and the cops pulled me over. And I was like, "Shit, put this out." And I put that joint out, and the cop came up and was like, "Good evening. Have you been drinking tonight?" And I was like, confident. "No, I haven't." He's like, Cool. "Have you been smoking any illegal drugs this afternoon?" I was like, "No." And he goes, "Right, I can smell marijuana in this car, and I have probable cause to search it. So would you like to go to jail tonight, or would you like to, fess up and give me the pot?" And I was like, "No, it's right here. Don't you move, I'll get it." And I was like, "Okay." Compliance. And so they just, took the weed, and it was like 1.5 ounces. And I guess South Carolina is like one of the worst states in the United States of America to get busted with weed. I remember looking it up. It was like, if you have 1 ounce, it's like minimum 30 days incarceration.
Oh, shit.
So like, fuck. This is like 2005 or something,
Oh yeah, they bring the hammer down on you.
Yeah. And so luckily I had my ex-girlfriend with me at the time, and we chose to split. So that it was like we had 3/4 of 1 ounce each. Were almost there. So we almost would have went to jail. Anyways, I was still in Dropkick Murphys at that time. I called my manager, and I talked to her, and I was like, "I got busted with weed in South Carolina. What can we do? Can you help me out, please?" And she contacted an attorney just in around the area where I was. She's like, let me see the ticket or whatever, let me see where you were. So she looked up the town, and she just picked an attorney and was talking with the attorney, and they play golf. The attorney plays golf with the guy who pulled me over, the cop that pulled me over. So it's just got fucking, slipped right out of the courtroom. She's like, "I'll kibosh this all." I'm like, "Oh my God." Thought I was going to have to go back down there and, but I remember at the time, the hardest part was not like, "Oh my God, I just got busted by the cops." It's like, "We're going to have no weed for 1.5 weeks. What are we going to do?" It's like, I could feel it leaving my system. I feel like I need to smoke a joint just because I can feel it leaving. I'm like, "Oh my God." And I had to meet her grandparents, and I was just like, "Hi, I don't know how to function. I'm turning into a moron right now." And we found like all these roaches and the little ashtrays all around the car, and we're just weaning ourselves off with that. So thankfully for our manager got us out of that fucking trap. She just, like I said, it's so weird. She just happened to contact an attorney that plays golf with a police officer that pulled me over. that crazy?
That is
Small
awesome.
world.
That's a great story. That's why I said we had to retell it on the podcast.
Yeah, fucking hell. Jesus Christ. Thanks. I don't even know what that attorney's name is. Thank you for not for putting me in a jail for 30 days.
Well, I told you,
minimum.
man. 2005 judges around here. Worcestershire, boy.
All right, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, I've got Massachusetts plates, like, and they're just like, oh, we're taking this boy down, and I'm like, oh fuck,
you going to jail?
Yeah, right.
That's right.
Close, that close, very close.
Oh man. Well, John, I don't know if you remember because I wasn't there. It seemed like Mark had an interesting story in Detroit, but I can't remember what it was because I
don't
there.
either. You were telling me about that, and I was like, I was too drunk to remember.
Yeah, and I don't know if John remembers all the details of it. I was trying to get that out of you today, but if you don't remember it, then I don't know what we're going to do.
Wonder what it is.
You remember the term loadout?
I think I know. Is this about my guitar tech in Dropkick Murphys?
Is it the accident?
Yes. So, okay.
Oh, can you tell this story on the podcast?
Yeah.
First of all.
Why not?
Okay.
Any moms? Any moms here?
No,
you know what?
No.
It doesn't really involve me. It involves, it was like a couple of weeks ago, my friend passed away. And he was my guitar tech in Dropkick Murphys for a little while. And we were playing, I can't remember if it was either Reading or Leeds. It's hard to remember. It's like 2005. It was either Reading or Leeds, which are these big festivals in England. They're basically the same thing, just different parts of the country. And we had a really good slot. I think it was like right before American Idiot came out. So Green Day was playing. 50 Cent played. It was I'm pretty sure it was that show where someone threw a bottle of piss at him.
Oh yeah, I remember that I remember that.
Because it was like a rock festival, and I think they're like, rappers, nah, and and I was okay. Because I remember walking through like the backstage area, and all these dudes go, "Get out of the way! 50 Cent is coming through." He just got piss all over him. Anyway, so we we got a pretty good slot. I remember it was a big milestone for Dropkick Murphys. We had a pretty good slot, and I was really excited about it. I was like, oh my God, this is really cool. It was like kind of middle of the day. And, it was just this massive stage on the main stage. And we kind of walk up, and another friend, Tech, who used to tech for us, who passed away last year, he came down. He watched the band come up. He's from Massachusetts. He had watched the Dropkicks come up as well. And he came down with Ken's bass and goes, here you go, man. Like, I got to say, this is really cool. That's a massive audience, huge stage. Like, I'm so proud of you guys. You guys are really doing something awesome here. You're putting our hometown on the map, man. This is really cool. This is wonderful. I'm happy which is really weird for my buddy Stu. He's the one that handed him his bass, because he'd always make like a light joke or a fart joke or something, like to make you relax and before you go on stage and stuff. He was a really sweet guy. And so, he gave Ken his bass, and we're like, oh, awesome. And then my tech, other guy, Bug, who just passed away, he worked for the Descendants for a while. I think he helped write some of their music too. And we got him, and he's coming down this massive stage, with my guitar. Didn't want to bump it into anybody. And he's on his way down, and I can see him coming. He's coming, and he gets down. He had these big glasses. He's just like, he's kind of squinting and stuff. He's an older fella. And he comes down. I'm waiting for my words of encouragement, just like Stu, And he says to me, I shit my pants. I'm like, what? Like, this is a fucking surreal moment. And you're just like, you shit your pants. It's like, I thought I had to fart, and I shit my pants. And I was like, well, go change. Like, he's like, I can't. The bus is too far away. I got to be there for you in case, something goes wrong. It's a big stage, big show. And I was like, okay. And so we go on stage, and we're doing our thing, high energy and playing and stuff. And I look over at him, and he's like, you need something? What do you need? I'm like, no, I'm fine, dude. Just stay over there, And he's just so the whole time I'm just thinking about, this guy has shit in his underwear while he's working. Poor fella, you know, I was like, Jesus Christ, that's gotta be, and he's just like sitting there, he's like, what do you need, man? What do you need? I was like, nothing, stay right there, you know? And so we're playing and stuff, and, you know, we do the show, it was really great, and I go back to our tour bus, and we're hanging out, and we're smoking a joint outside the bus, and I can see in the distance, I see Bug walking limping his way over. He's limping, just like doing this weird thing, trying to keep all the in one place, you know. Oh so God. He's just on his way over, just going like holding that together. And I felt really bad for him because it kind of sucks, like for that kind of scenario to happen to him. Yeah. But I handed him the joint. I was like, dude, like that was awesome. Thank you so much. It goes, got me out of loadout. Because I guess he was helping load everything out into the big truck, and they're like, get the fuck out of here. With that, leave. And he's like, okay. He's like, sure. And so smoked a bit of a joint, went and changed, probably threw out those undies. But yeah, he just passed away about a month ago or something like that. Good guy, really sweet guy, funny, really funny. Legend too, real big legend. Like I said, he was with the Descendants for a while. Tech for them, helped write their songs. It was just a total character. Bug. Wow. R.I.P. Bug.
R.I.P.
That wasn't me farting. That's my chair, swivel chair going.
Sure. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah, sure.
Just told a short story. So. Oh man.
Is that the one you're talking about, or is that something completely different?
I think that was it.
I think that was it.
Yeah, because I think that had just happened to my buddy Bug. You know, it's like, oh man, you know, poor son. But that's what I said. I ended it with that. I'm like, don't we all want a friend like that?
Oh yeah.
Stand by you.
No matter what.
Watch over you. No matter what. No matter what.
No matter what.
Even if there's a fucking dump in your undies, you know.
That's right. That's a friend to the end right there.
I know. Come on. Oh, good Lord. Yeah.
I'm gonna segue over to John for a second.
Yeah, please.
See if you have another question for Mark. If not, I have a couple more for him.
Yeah, one of the things that I was struck by listening to your playlist, and interesting how it ties into Gin Wigmore too, because and while I'm sort of selling her to clients and friends who aren't familiar with her, if they're not familiar with it, they're not my friends, because I've, they all know her. I've drugged them those. But they'll also like, what genre is she? I'm kind of like, she's kind of her own genre. It's like, and that's one of the things that struck me about listening to your playlist is, just how many fingers you had in so many pies musically. And I think, one of the first things that struck me listening was when I got to Feels Like Love by Wild Roses. And I mean, it was just, you almost got me a ticket, man. I was like, turn it up, drive faster, turn it up, drive faster. I'm like, next thing you know, I'm like going 50 down a 30-mile-an-hour road, just like, and I mean, and it's, it definitely has that T-Rex and all kind of, and I'm just like, man, I'm still cleaning glitter out of my car.
I love it. I love it.
So yeah, I was really struck with that Ides of March.
Songs.
But, then, I got to some more like acoustic kind of stuff. Was it Sixth Generation?
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. Where are we going with this?
Yeah.
So, I'm looking forward to seeing, your and Jen's collaboration, and if you have anything to speak on regarding that.
Yeah, I had I've always had that trouble, like growing up and playing in bands, as a kid, you're always trying to find your genre, like what's your genre? And I always had trouble, and because sometimes, especially being in like a punk scene or some kind of scene around that, whether it be hardcore music or dare I even reach the ska or rockabilly or there's these lines where people go, you're that, or you're that. You don't blend in between. So I was just like, well, I don't want to offend anybody by just saying like I'm punk. Oh, do you think you're punk? You know, like, okay, fucking whatever with that. So I always had trouble with genres, and especially if you're trying to explain to somebody, well, what's your band sound like? You go, I don't know. We do our own thing, but not really. You know, that's a really tricky question, you know, to be able to really define. But I just always do things where I go, I don't know, that sounds good to me. That's just what I like. That's why Wild Roses, because all the songs are just all over the place.
Yeah.
But with Gin, I don't know. She's you know, evolved so many times record to record, and she's gone to these new places and worked with other producers and stuff. So she kind of evolved so many times. This one, we reached a little bit more back towards the Gravel and Wine kind of style,
Okay.
where it's just kind of like this almost retro rock style. Nice. And where that's what I guess you would call it, you know, but what the hell does that even mean? You know what I mean? Like, it's hard to define, but because it's not like singled out. We never single out on like a type of music. We always just go, let's just make music that we like, you know? And that's what I've always done. But yeah, if you're trying to, like, if you're telling your friends, you know, to become a Gin Wigmore believer, you know, you go, I don't know, man, you just got to listen to it. She's just got to, whenever I talk about it, I go, I really love her voice. Her voice is so cool. And that's what I grew up loving. I grew up loving the Pogues. Shane MacGowan is a really unique singer and a really unique voice. And, you know, the Sex Pistols, John Lydon's voice is just like, you can't cover a Sex Pistols song. You just can't. Right. Because no one's going to sound like John Lydon. He's his own thing. And I feel that same way about Gin. Like, it's hard to cover her music because it's just the big ticket is her voice. Because I work with people and, like, they're really talented at singing. They really can hit the notes and the acrobatics they can do. But I got to have that cool raspy tone to have a story to tell of, like,
the quality of her voice is just blows my fucking mind. And I told her that on the podcast. Go listen to that podcast because I told her that and we talked about that just the unique quality that she brings. It's crazy. Some people put a voice on when they sing sometimes. I mean, because sometimes it can be like an amp. You're dialing in your sound, how you want to fit in that song and stuff. But she just does what she does. And it's always really cool, you know, to be able to do it in kind of different genres or different ways and stuff. And I, you know, personally, I gravitate to artists that you can't pigeonhole in a genre. Mm-hmm. You know, if they bounce around, like if you do a rockabilly record, okay, Mark's doing a rockabilly record, or if you're doing a soul record, you know? He's doing a soul record. Or if he's got a soul song and a rockabilly song and a freaking punk song on the same album, I'm cool because you're doing what you like.
Yeah.
You know? I don't know if that makes sense.
And when you have to do it, you know, with you kind of just go like, it's rock music, man. You know what I mean? And if someone's going to get offended, well, fuck you. I don't give a shit. You know what I mean? Because what do you want me to say? I make up a word, you know, to describe this.
Exactly.
I'm too lazy for that. Just listen to the fucking music. You know?
Exactly. Well,
but she's just got such a really cool, unique voice, and it's always a delight to work with her. And, you know, we always have fun and just goof off and I just have like a little tiny studio that we work on. We mainly did this record, like probably 80% back there. And we, you know, that's kind of what you do nowadays because nobody can afford to go like spend all this money in a recording studio and take a long lunch and do all this stuff. So if I have my place to be able to work on a lot of stuff, I can record guitars back there and did her vocals back there. And then, you know, we would go do drums in a nice big room, or big gang vocals in a nice big room, or a real grand piano. I'll just play that and there you go, you know. But a lot of the stuff was just back there and nice and cheap. Kids can make records on, I made it on this thing, you know, I'm staring at, you know. So it's just really fun to be able to work with that. And, you know, she's just terrific. But yeah, I wouldn't know what to call her. Probably just call it retro rock because it's always got. But then there's songs like New Rush that are just so really different and cool. And I think she just loved it.
Oh, that song Odium, the Odium.
Yeah,
dude, I'd love to see that live. The lyrics in that.
Well, that one is that the one.
Sister, your kingdom fell. what did it say? Your kingdom fell and took apart the little piece that made your heart.
Yes.
Yeah, dude, I freaking lost my shit when I heard those lyrics.
And that's the one where it's the slowed down. It's like dropped. Yeah, because I think they just took the whole track and just like slowed it down.
Dude,
go, whoa, that sounds cool. And that's what she's all about, you know. And like I said, it depends on all the different producers that she works with and stuff. Yeah. So to kind of help her.
Well, I'm gonna bring it back to Marc Orrell for a second because, dude, I listened to that playlist more than once, a few times, and I'm still stuck on this song. I've already told you this. I've messaged you this like 5 times already. But The Outsider, where did that song come from? Because, dude, that thing shakes me every time I listen to it. It touches me every time I hear it. And tell me about the group. What was it?
French for Rabbits.
French for Rabbits. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just mainly Brooke who kind of came through. I got connected with her through my publishing house, Native Tongue, down in Australia. And she's like, they were like, oh, she's going to be in the States. Do you want to do a writing session? I was like, yeah, sure. Tell her to come on over. And it was with another Brooke. There were 2 Brooks, two nice young ladies, but Brooke Singer, she kind of, you know, is that the one? Brooke Singer and Brooke something. I think Brooke Singer. I only met her that one time. And she came, she came in and she's just another New Zealander, another Kiwi. Yeah. And she's just very sweet. She's vegan, so I liked her. And I was like, yeah, okay, man, let's just do some writing. We talked about how much we both love Phoebe Bridgers. And she's like, oh, yeah, it'd be great to kind of do something kind of like that. And we just kind of started playing this really soft kind of music because, you know, it just spoke to her personality and stuff. And we just would pull up these instruments and just play them. And that sounds cool. You know, people always want like the making of the records. And sometimes you just go, it was 9 a.m. We pressed record. We listened to it back, and it sounded cool. You know,
but the lyrics as a songwriter, you know, I'm always interested in writers. You know,
me too.
I write fiction. I don't write songs. I'd love to try that one day, but
it's easier than you think.
That's what they said about fiction writing too. But I want to know your process, and I still want to talk about The Outsider a little more. But as a writer, how do you get into that mindset when you're sitting down to write a song? When you get a subject in your head and you want to, you know.
I was saying this to Gin the other day. I was like, because we were sitting down to try and do something new, and I was like, I feel like every time I sit down to try and do something new, I'm convinced I've never fucking done this before in my life. There's no right or wrong way to do it. You know, you just kind of go, some people have a riff, some people have a drum beat, some people have a lyrical idea. And it just all depends. I've had a lot more success with just kind of like figuring things out and just go, or I'll have like, I'll be playing the piano, like I'll just be playing a cover. I'm not, you know, just over there and I'll just be like, and then I hit a wrong note. Ooh, that's kind of different. We could do something like that and make it a little bit different. Okay, that's kind of cool. Ooh, and if I do that on top, all right. And, or sometimes I'll be like, I really want to do a song called This. That title speaks to me. And then I go, okay, if you're going to write a song with this title, how would you sing that? Like, how would you just, you know, like, you know, you can find a way to sing anything. Right. You know, you just, I call it shower singing. It's like you can't be around any instruments. You just have to be with your voice and just kind of sing something. Because that's what I grew up with, is a lot of sing-along music, with punk rock music, Irish music. It's a lot of singing, kind of sing-along stuff. And so you go, okay, how would you sing this? And sometimes you'll find a way to sing, like, okay, you're going to sing it like that. There's a beat in there. And then you get inside of there and you go, oh, we can do this. But sometimes it just starts with 3 dumb chords that you just like, cool. And then you just sing over that and just try and do things, or both trade off ideas and stuff, you know, with anybody that I'm working with. And it just stirs up into magic. And then once it's written, that's the hard part. Like once you go, okay, that's all written. Now we can start recording it, you know, and it depends on people's rules. You know, with the artist, sometimes they'll go, well, I'm kind of an acoustic singer-songwriter person. I don't need a weird Moog synthesizer noise over it. Some people are like, I'm a weird singer-songwriter person, put tons of that fucking Moog weird sounds on it. And you go, okay. And so it's about how comfortable people take liberties with the production side.
Right,
You know?
right.
And that's kind of what it was with Brooke in French for Rabbits with The Outsider. She's just like, no rules. Let's have fun. Let's just make sounds that we like and a cool song.
And this will be the last little segment I talk about The Outsider, but I do want to say one other thing with the video. I don't know if I'm sure you watched the video that goes.
Yeah, I saw the video. It's cool.
The video that accompanies the song. It just, I don't know what it is about that video and the way it's set and staged and that go with those lyrics. It's like, she's there, but she's not there.
Yeah.
And it's powerful.
She has such like a very cool, soft voice. I wish I could do. There's some like soft songs I want to do, but I just, I'm not like that guy. You know, I'm a different type of chameleon. I can't get in there.
John, I'm gonna get off the outsider kick. So if you have another question for Mark, I'll be quiet for a second. I know I'll ramble a little bit sometimes.
Well, when I was going down the YouTube rabbit hole last night, after watching some Wild Rose or whatever, I stumbled on Psychobilly Freakout.
Halloween.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, it's a big, I think it was a Reverend Horton Heat song, but I just thought that was like, so where we are in Silver Lake is just this really big, there's a lot of kids that it's like fucking bedlam out there for Halloween. And we just moved here like a couple years back, and I was like, "Oh, I'm getting a band out here. Like it's a built-in crowd. Yeah. I can just wheel out my PA and just and my buddy plays upright bass, so we do like all these. We have like a psychobilly band, 3-piece, and we kind of just do this psychobilly stuff. Yeah, and we do like a couple of Cramp songs, a couple of Sonic songs, and a couple of originals of just instrumentals that we goof around on. Uh-huh. And we did a rockabilly version of Thriller, Michael Jackson, because it's like, originally it's like do 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 do, like the Thriller, but we made it doom 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 doom. And we just made it like a scary haunted house type of style. Nice. And then, where I come from, people are like, shut the fuck up, but here it's great. They're like super artsy. They're like, oh my God, I loved it. My kids loved it. It was great, So we're going to try and do that every Halloween and just go, it's just right at the end of my driveway. And it's just
dude, John, I got to see that.
Hundreds of kids that kind of come out and they just go nuts. There's a video of it on my Instagram too. It was the week before those shows in California with Gin. Yeah. She's there, hang out with her kids, and Jason's there too, and we're just being just goofy and just.
I want to see that Thriller shit.
Yeah,
man.
It's pretty fun, Psychobilly Freakout.
Psychobilly Freakout. I'm gonna look that up. Yeah, John, you got one over on me, man. I didn't see that one.
Out-researched each other.
Out-researced me.
Well, listen, fellas, I actually have to get down to the studio and work with the Rocker Roaders.
All right, awesome. Well, I'll give you this last couple minutes. Anything you want to plug, anything you want to say about Marc Orrell, put it out there right now, and we'll end the podcast.
Please keep an eye out for Gin's new record that's coming out. Hopefully, maybe the end of the year, beginning of next year. Not totally sure. We're still in that wiggle room, but check it out. I'm really excited about it. I'm very proud of it, and me and Jen are just really proud of each other, being like, oh my God, we got all these fucking massive floor packers of songs. They're just like, oh, this song, oh fuck, this song is fucking awesome. Where people just, we're just like, we showed to people, like a couple of friends, and they're like, oh wow, this is really cool. And it's just like building our morale. It's just really exciting. And we're just like, oh my God, let's just release it. That's what she does. Oh my God, let's just get it out there. And like, proper protocols on how to do this stuff,
Well, you can find my guy, Wild Roses Rock, on Instagram. So you can check him out there. He'll definitely keep us posted on what he has coming out, along with our favorite Kiwi. And I want to thank my special guest star today. Thank you so much, John Stryzek, for helping me co-host the program today.
Good to see you, John.
Good to see you. I'll see you at Bourbon and Beyonce.
Oh, Bourbon and Beyonce.
Beyonce.
Sunday at Bourbon and Beyonce.
You'll be in my town.
Just picture Beyonce drinking some bourbon and just yes, I love this Gin Wigmore song.
And I am Charles Campbell. I'm your small town horror author. You can find me on Instagram under Charles Campbell Author. You can find me on Facebook. Mark's got one of my books on his chest right there, Horror 421, The Road to Terror. You can find me on Instagram, Facebook. We have a Horror 421, the podcast Facebook page as well. So listen, subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. And you guys have a great day. And we appreciate you joining the show today. Take care.
We hope you had a horrific time, lovelies. Thank you for tuning in to Horror 421, the podcast. Be sure to like us on YouTube and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.